Everybody, Rev Nation here, and today I just wanted to talk about my first experience taking a road trip in the Ford Maverick. So I drove up to Richmond, Virginia, and went to the Civil War Museum, which was kind of a disappointment, man. I'll be honest with you. It was a lot smaller than I thought, and you know, it's pretty expensive, and we were in and out of there really quickly, so it was a long hike for not that great of an experience, unfortunately. But you know, it's good to show the kids, you know, teach them history and all that stuff. So that's why I did it. But back to the Maverick. We went about 300 miles or so on the road trip, so I did get the sort of overall interpretation of how this is going to be when I take it across country, or you know, back up north to see my family and things like that. And it did really well overall. One of the upsides was the seat comfort was great. You know, let's get into show you the seats here. I just got back, so yeah, got to take the keys out, otherwise Ford's going to yell at you. So you know, I was driving in that same position pretty much the whole time, you know, a few hours and all that, and I did not get sore at all. My back felt like it was relatively supported. Toward the end there, I did feel like I was sinking in a little bit more than, you know, you feel like when you're just doing short trips and everything like that. And you can see, like, I already got a little bit of an impression in there. So not too sure how these seats are going to hold up over the years. But overall, it did really good. So one of the, I guess, gripes I would have is that it did have quite a bit of wind noise. And I don't know if that's just, you know, with that defect on the windshield or what, but oddly enough, that wind noise made it quite a bit more tolerable of the windshield squeak that was going on. So it kind of drowned that out, which was actually pretty nice. I was going roughly in the, you know, low to mid 70s on this whole trip. My fuel economy overall was about 34 going that speed, and then when I'd get down to about 50, 55, it would increase quite a bit. So I'd go back up to, you know, 38, 39. One of the cool things that I did do is I installed a pet cover, put that on the back seat for my daughter and her friend. My wife bought this a long time ago, so I'm unsure of the pricing and all that stuff. I've always used it in all my newer vehicles. And the cool thing is you can, it's like a two-way adjustable. So I'll show you this. So that'll kind of wrap around, you know, your seat if you want it to. I was moving it around earlier. And or you can do this and create, you know, a bit of a barricade for the pets not to get up front, and it'll have them sort of almost trapped in back here. But you know, it's got this clear sheet to where they can see you, they can breathe, they can do all that stuff. So it's not, there's no cruelty to animals or anything like that. I'll post up the make and model of this because it actually fits the Maverick really well. You do have to stuff it into the seats a little bit because it is made for up to a full-size pickup, but you know, it worked really well. So my daughter and her friend back there snacking, doing all that stuff, protected the seats. Can't complain. But as a whole, you know, it did good. I'm actually excited to take this, you know, on further road trips. I normally, we would always take the 4Runner, and you know, we probably still will when I've got like the whole family packed in there and all the pets and everything like that. But this will be a great alternative, and I think that if I'm going to be doing a lot of use, especially if fuel prices, you know, go back up really high, this will be the vehicle of choice. But overall, very, very pleased. It's comfortable. The ride was not as, comfortable as like a luxury sedan by any means, but it wasn't punishing. My neck did get a little bit sore, but, I have a spinal cord injury where I broke my neck in a vehicle accident about 10 years ago, and I've got disc replacements and all sorts of other stuff. So my neck's going to get sore riding in a car for a long time, regardless. So wasn't really too overly concerned about that. I was more or less expecting it, to be honest with you. So, it wasn't any worse, but I'll tell you something like, the Hyundais, I get into those and within minutes, my body's just aching and my neck and just the ergonomics, and it just does something to my body. Most people, it doesn't. But this was good. Speaking of ergonomics, I really, really do like the layout in here. I thought that it flowed really well. So yeah, 570 miles total on it. So I haven't been driving it as much as a lot of other people, would have. But when you're sitting in here, this is what you're looking at here, and steering wheel layout, all your buttons. I was using these a lot, all of them, and pretty much all of these. So it worked really good. I will when I find the keys. I'll turn this on so you can see how quiet it is, or hear how quiet it is. That's what your key looks like. Would have preferred push button start, but this one, it's not bothering me as much as I was thinking that it would. But all right, so this is your screen layout here. You can see that the resolution is not, all that great, but it's doable. So when you're changing your temperatures, this is great. You can set your temperature to what you want. You can got physical buttons to go over whatever you need, and it, you're not going through like 15 different screens to get to what you need. So not a whole lot in here as far as interface goes. So you can change your sounds, your fade, all that other stuff. So I can tell you, right? So factory settings, I did have to put it all the way up here. So I was listening to a podcast, and when I had it at the normal setting, I literally could not hear it. So I did have to put it up there. Once I did that, it was good. So now the engine kicked on, which is pretty sweet. And it is really not that loud. But we are still running on all electric here. You can see I've got roughly a full-ish tank, and it says 430 miles to empty. I would bump that up to roughly about 500, to be honest with you, because they're still calculating from me being on that road trip. So 500 miles to a freaking 14-gallon tank, that's crazy. The usability of all these cubbies in here was real good. I don't want to focus in on, the logos and whatever. Passengers were happy, as they were comfortable. There's no complaining. My daughter and her friend, they laid down and kind of slept up against the doors back there when they got tired. So it was good for them. Plenty of room, plenty of visibility, smooth ride, a little bit of wind noise, a little bit of cabin noise, but that was to be expected. And I'll be taking this on plenty of more road trips. So just wanted to make that quick video and go through some of the features, and let's finish up with one last shot of this bad boy. So there she is in all her glory. Thanks for watching, folks. Plenty of more Maverick content to come. We'll see ya.